Really quick update. I did get the pen diode and updated everything. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's probably not going to focus. There we go. Anyway, right there in between those two capacitors, and between that potentiometer and inductor, that's where the pin diode is. Unfortunately, it did not fix the problem. So that's pretty much what this video is about. I do have it calibrating. It is passing the confidence tests, and what is interesting, and I'll show right here, these are the correction coefficients. You notice they're all like 0.45, 0.58. One is 9.6. Anyway, according to the manual, it should be, I think, between negative 0.50 dB and 0.89, if I'm not mistaken. So a little tiny bit off on a few, but considering, I mean, it's really spot on. Anyway, so it is calibrating, and it is passing the confidence tests, although I did have to kind of tweak things, and that's what I was going to tell you. I did have to add this pot right here, and if you look at the schematic, basically that pot is for a positive feedback from the last stage amplifier to basically substitute or to offset the tank loss of the LC circuit. Now, that resistor is used to be just a standard resistor. It was just a standard component. It was 2,150 ohm. It is a custom resistor in the sense that it was placed there per board. Every board is going to have a custom component. I put the variable resistor in there because my hypothesis is, I mean, I've looked all over this board, and I cannot find a damn thing wrong with it. I've even pulled out a lot of the capacitors and so forth and tested them with my LCR meter, and some of them are slightly out, but, you know, I really don't know what the tolerances are, and definitely I did pull out this trim cap here. The big problem was, if you look at my other video, is that one of the center frequencies of the LC pole was so out that basically I couldn't adjust it to where it lined up with the others. Now, to go back a little bit, I pulled this thing out, put some wires on it, as you can tell, and Lord and behold, it seems that I have enough play now for it to balance out if I keep it like this. I think what's happening, of course, is that the wires are adding extra capacitance. I tried my LCR meter. It's adding about 2 picofarads. It could be adding a little bit of resistance too, but I think it's mainly the capacitance. The point I'm trying to get at is, by adding this variable resistor and adding this extra capacitance, I think what has happened is that this circuit is so delicate and it's tuned at the factory, and some of these components over the last, this thing was made in 1990, so, figure what, 25 years? I think they're out of tolerance is what has happened, and I could of course replace all of them, or I could take the ones that are more severely out of tolerance, but, they all kind of seem okay, if you see my point. So kind of what I've done is I've replaced that resistor with the pot. That gives me the ability to basically trim it for how much positive feedback I get. So the loss in the tank circuit of the LC is compensated for. That gives me another degree of freedom to essentially trim that LC tank, that last filter, which is giving me trouble. And I've tried it, I've trimmed it like this as well, and that's how I'm able to get it to pass everything with such precision, so to speak. Anyway, the point is I want to get a couple of picofarad caps, just put them in parallel with that, and then put it all back together, and I think it'll be okay. If anybody can give me any ideas of how to check all this out, it would be fine. Like I said, I've pulled a lot of the capacitors off and checked them. You know, some of them are out a little bit. Like there's a 62 picofarad capacitor that's out like, you know, 10% or so. I don't know what the tolerance is on a capacitor. I don't know whether it's a 1% or 5%, 10%. I really didn't look it up. The point is, some of them are up more than others. Some of them are down. It seems to me they would kind of offset one another. I really don't know how to go about doing it except changing everything. The diodes check out. The voltages check out. You know, I really don't know what else to do if that's if someone could give me a pointer, I would appreciate it. So that's kind of where I am. It acts fine. It runs fine. So, you know, we're going to have a little bit of fun next in the next video segment. So that's going to be coming up. But I'm really kind of thinking about just kind of leaving that pot there. As I said, to reiterate, putting a couple picofarads across in parallel, adding to the capacitance of this thing, sort of like the lines have done here. That'll give me the ability to trim it on the board and then sticking it all back together again. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So, all right. Until next time, and we're going to have a little bit of fun on the next video. Bye-bye.